Hi, it's Eliana here, and I'd like to share something that I recently read in one of my inspirational daily readers that made me want to just pop on here to Facebook Live to provide you with a really counterintuitive way to increase your peace of mind. Would you like more peace of mind in these days? Well, there's actually a way that you could do that and change the world at the same time. Oh my God, how could that be? Well, first, I want to read to you what I read a little bit earlier. That someone is writing about their loved one's limitations. Hours pass while I list the ways in which they could stand to change. I itemized my loved one's limitations. Can you relate? But not one thing has ever improved as a result of this mental criticism. All it does is keep my mind on someone other than myself. Instead of admitting my powerless over another person's choices and attitudes, I flirt with illusions of power. In the end, I am a little more bitter, more hopeless, and more frustrated. How does that speak to today? Can you relate? Where do you see that today? Write in the comments below. I'm curious. And nothing about my situation or the other person has changed. What would happen if I took my list of criticisms and applied it gently? Here comes the counterintuitive to myself. I may complain about my loved one's verbal abuse. After all, I don't speak to them that way. But at the level of thought, I'm just as abusive. The same attitude exists in both of us. We just manifest it differently. When I identify something that I dislike in another, I can actually look for similar traits within myself and begin to change them. By changing myself, I can truly change the world. So this is relating to someone who wrote this in a relationship, but it's just as applicable in a relationship with your client, in a relationship with your child, in a relationship with your parent, in your relationship with a colleague, in your relationship with a friend, and most importantly, your relationship with yourself. In today's world, there is it's not just a tendency, it's this, obsession these days of things outside of ourselves. When the counterintuitive way, if you would like to increase your peace of mind, is to focus within. Now the thing is, it's not a fun thing to do, because it's so much easier to point the finger outside, because then we don't have to look at ourselves. But the moment you stop and look, it's not a pretty picture a lot of the times, and it's really uncomfortable, because those voices, those critical voices inside, they're our voices. It's your voice, right? It's the outside is the trigger, but it's the inside voice that's creating the disruption. And most people might not agree with that. It's okay. Those who are conscious of the power of their voice and the power of their mind know it. And while it's not comfortable, it's the easy way around. You pay one way or the other, right? So peace of mind really depends upon recognizing our shortcomings, but then not punishing yourself, because that self-punishment, oh my God, who needs somebody pushing my buttons when I push them left to my own devices? It's not a pretty picture. My mind can just go off and be the biggest terrorist on earth. Yet, an honest, personal, kind, gentle, compassionate, meeting of ourselves helps us to recognize our strengths, helps us to recognize our weaknesses. And when we harness the power of our voice to stop criticizing, everything shifts. How do you relate to this? Where do you have the most difficulty criticizing yourself? And where would it be such a relief to stop that? Please mark below. Because when you writing it down and coming out in the open is, really the first step. And well, actually, the first step is allowing yourself to acknowledge it. The second step is to not punish yourself. The third, really courageous step is to acknowledge, because then it stops controlling you and you become in control of it. If this subject is triggering you or compelling something, and you would like to know more, and you are not yet a member of our Healing Sounds of Feminine Leadership group, I heartily invite you to come join us, because there are so many resources there on how you can harness healing sound for your good, and I give a weekly live training on harnessing the healing power of your voice for your own good and for your good of others. Every voice really, really makes a difference. And when you embody the power of it, when you embody the source of your power, and you connect that from the inside out, there's no stopping you. And that makes a huge change in the world. It's not the other way around. It's the bullshit way, pardon my French, to expect the outside to change and then we'll feel better. Hooey booey, it doesn't work that way. That's going down with the Titanic. Where we are going today, thank goodness, is expanding into this clarity that we are our greatest source of well-being and we are our greatest source of terror, and it's a choice one moment at a time. What's your choice right now? I am choosing to show up. I'm speaking up as a voice of solution, not as perfection, far from it, but for solution, in solution. I really look forward to hearing from you, and please join us in the Healing Sounds of Feminine Leadership group. I will place the link in the in the description section. Take care, everyone.